What's going on, everybody? The Trump regime continues to collapse under the weight of their own incompetency as they rack up loss after loss after loss on top of imminent losses. So I want to talk about all of those things. Before I do, like and subscribe. It's totally free, means the world to me, yada yada. All right, let's get into it. So this first article is from Vanity Fair. Says it's not just MTG. Other Republicans in Congress are reportedly eyeing an exit. MTG's announcement that she would resign from Congress in the coming weeks was a warning sign for the GOP. The Georgia representative arrived on Capitol Hill as the face of the Republican Party that Donald Trump had reshaped into his own image. But now, after a high-profile spat with the president, she will leave in January as the embodiment of that party's dysfunction. And she's unlikely to be the only GOP lawmaker heading for the exit. They continue. This entire White House team has treated all members like garbage, a senior GOP member messaged to Punchbowl, and Mike Johnson has let that happen because he wanted it to happen. The arrogance of this White House team is off-putting to members who are run roughshod and threatened, the member added, saying the Republican lawmakers have little hope for maintaining the House majority they held onto in 2024. They predicted more high-profile resignations and that Johnson would lose his gavel. Morale has never been lower. Okay, so this has been a long time coming. If you guys have seen any of the videos that have come out of these Republican town halls, they can't even go to their own districts because they get screamed out of the room because of everything that the Trump regime has done in the short 10 months that they've been in office so far. It's all been a disaster, okay? And they're deeply, deeply unpopular. They're underwater on literally every single issue, and the voters are pissed. So they can't go to their own constituents. And to the extent that, like, they don't agree with some of the things that Trump is doing, they can't push back against him either because the MAGA mouth breathers will basically like go after them. And this is actually a Democratic strategist who went on CNN who said just that. And she's commenting on the exodus that is likely coming probably before the end of the year. Let's take a look.
Not they're going to bend the knee to Trump or they're going to do what's right for their constituents. And if they don't bend the knee to Trump, then they get a flacking from the MAGA base. They get harassed online. They get harassed in their districts at town halls. And then they have a primary challenger that becomes extremely dirty and nasty. So I don't blame them for wanting to retire and not have to put up with that. They want to go there and do work for their district and for their constituents. And they're not being able to do that because Trump's agenda isn't working for them and isn't working for their constituents. So I understand why Marjorie Taylor Greene wants to leave as well. She can be a thorn in the side to MAGA, a thorn in the side to Republicans, a thorn in the side to Democrats, and make more money outside of Congress and probably be more effective.
So yeah, I mean, like, these Republican lawmakers are really in a no-win situation, and I don't feel bad for them because for the longest time, it's been evident that Trump has been a sinking ship. He was a sinking ship in his first term, and there were a bunch of them who had a chance to distance themselves from Trump after the insurrection, and they jumped right back on board after it was clear that he was going to be the front runner, and they cared way more about power than principle, and they care way more about party than country. So all of them had the chance to get out the first time and never look back, and none of them did. And so now they're dealing with the fallout, which is that the Republican Party, the GOP, is inextricably tied to the failures of Donald Trump and the unpopularity of Donald Trump. And these lawmakers really don't have a choice. So it's not surprising that some of them are eyeing the exit because, as the strategist said, a lot of these people can make more money if they just jump over to K Street and start lobbying the government for the same donors that they took money from, which is the revolving door that a lot of these congressmen do. But we got more than just, Republicans in the House. Apparently, Mitch McConnell is also looking to be replaced. He's approximately 157 years old or something like that. Mitch McConnell looks worse than Trump. He's like stroking out in real time. He's fallen over a couple of times or something. They hide him away now. Like, he's barely relevant. But Mitch McConnell has been far and away one of the most destructive people ever to hold office in this country, and he's been there for a long time. I'm talking about like over 40 years. And I think he's seeing the writing on the wall that his health is failing, and so he's trying to get somebody to replace him. And the funny thing is that if he steps down before the end of his term, then Andy Beshear, who's the Democratic governor of Kentucky, would get to appoint somebody. And Mitch McConnell has basically handpicked a couple of people that he's saying like he would want to replace him. And Beshear has basically said, nah, dog, I'm not going to choose any of your replacements. And I say good on Beshear and fuck Mitch McConnell, because like I said, he's been a ridiculously destructive politician for this country for decades now. On to the next loss. On top of, the fact that literally there are stories about a bunch of people that want to step down. If you guys recall, the Texas court basically struck down the partisan gerrymander that Trump wanted Texas to do, where he's basically like, I need you to find me more seats. I need 5 more seats in Texas. And Greg Abbott was like, sure, I'll do a mid-cycle redistricting. I'll do a partisan gerrymander. I'll come up with 5 extra seats. And so Gavin Newsom said, well, listen, if you're going to do this in Texas, we're going to fight fire with fire, and we're going to do the exact same thing in California. The difference is that Gavin Newsom did it the Democratic way and did it through an election, and Prop 50 won by a freaking landslide. I think it was like almost 70% support or something like that. Meanwhile, the court in Texas slapped down this partisan redistricting effort and said, that's totally illegal. You can't do it. So to add insult to injury, the Republicans in California are very likely going to lose their seats. The Democrats are very likely going to pick up at least 5 seats just due to what California did. You've got members of Congress who are saying, like, I'm out. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene is official. She's gone. She said, I'm going to be done January 5th of 2026. You got other people thinking about stepping down. You got Mitch McConnell saying, I don't think I have that many days left in me. So you're just seeing like the snowball of the MAGA regime just collapsing. And maybe as the least consequential thing, but it's also funny because it's just one more loss, and it's just one more example of how incompetent the current regime is. The Letitia James and James Comey cases got laughed out of court. Both of those got struck down, and basically they said that what's her name? The blonde bimbo. I'm forgetting that Trump appointed. Lindsay Halligan? Does that sound right? I think that's her name. So she's like got appointed by Trump to, like prosecute these cases. She's never prosecuted a case before. She was like an insurance attorney or something like that. And she just fits the bill perfectly for like the type of person that Trump would pick. Young, blonde, good looking, totally incompetent, totally unqualified. And that's all Trump needs, because literally at the end of the day, the only thing you need to be in Trump's administration or to work for Trump in any capacity is just to be a world-class ass kisser. It's actually better that you're totally incompetent, because he's going to ask you to do a bunch of illegal things all the time. And this is just another one of them. Oh, I almost forgot. I was about to end it, and I forgot that DOGE is also officially like donezo, right? So like I had one more. DOGE is also gone. So the Department of Government Efficiency, apparently that's disbanded. Elon called it quits, totally. The guys who were working for Elon are apparently worried that they are going to face some sort of criminal charges. And it's like, I wonder why. Maybe it's because literally every single dime that DOGE cut was completely illegal. And then on top of that, just to add insult to injury, It's like they didn't even save the government any money. I think I can do a whole separate video just on how bad Doge was. But like, the whole point of Doge was for Elon Musk to get rid of any part of the government that was either investigating illegal business practices that he was doing or regulating him in some way that he didn't like. And so, but the good news is that Doge is officially done, and that's a whole like 8 months before the end of when they were supposed to be done. So again, like you said, like we said, it's just incredible to watch. Just loss after loss after loss of the Trump regime, and it couldn't happen soon enough because, like I said, this guy needs to go. These people need to be locked up. And the quicker we can get to that result, the better. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.